I actually thought, last year was tough, but actually when we kind of look back, we did pretty well. But 2024 has been, honestly, it's been something else. I think it's probably the toughest year in our history. 2024 is probably the year that most people are going to remember as the year of AI. And the big takeaway for everyone, though, is, whatever the technology, you still need the right people to make the job happen and to make it work. There is work out there. There's not massive amounts, and budgets aren't incredible at the moment, but our focus more than ever at Sandstorm is about stress-free filmmaking. Because it's something you can get here that you can't really get it anywhere else. And it's been part of our DNA since we started. Because back when we started, which is about almost a quarter of a century ago now, it was all about no smoke and mirrors, giving clients what they needed, not making work too complicated, delivering on time, and no budget surprises. And that kind of feeds brilliantly into this stress-free filmmaking kind of ethos that we have now. A big eye-opener for me personally, this year we set up our first ever full social media iPhone filming kit, which I was really excited about actually, because it's always key to sort of see what tech is out there and also what we could get for less than £500, which was the budget they wanted to spend. And one of my favourite sayings actually is, you can make any film in the world for £500, you just can't make it twice. The answer actually for £500, you can get a lot. People say AI is the biggest threat to filmmaking, and in reality I think social content probably is, because whether you're spending on a big feature film or you're shooting on your iPhone, your audience are happy to watch both of them. Whether people are happy to watch AI, on the other hand, is yet to be seen, because fundamentally people want to engage when they watch something with the content emotionally. Really, that's an important part for me. People are threatened by AI, not because of the technology. Technology approach is amazing, really. It's the risk to jobs and it's the fear of being manipulated too. But whether these things are new news, I don't think they really are. When the advent of the digital camera, the DSLR, the iPhone, editing on your laptop. Back when I started, it was sort of, $250,000 for an edit suite. But, in the same way that things have moved along in regard to the size of crew, you could shoot on an iPhone with 2 people, you could do AI with 2 people. Actually, that's not the right solution for everything, is it? Because if you want something, high end, you need to be able to fine tune things. So be it the lights, the cameras, the lenses, the sound, the set design, the wardrobe. Making high end content needs a lot of people and a lot of skilled people. We're really well known for Technodolly, which is a repeatable camera crane. We're the only people in the UK with it. But we've also got this baby brother version, which is called a Technocrane 10, and it's the smallest, I think it's the smallest telescopic crane ever built. And it's really cool, especially if budgets are tight. This shoot we've got behind us, they need a couple of shots. They need to be nimble with the crane and get a few really pretty shots that you'd normally get on something like a Jimmy Jib. We have actually shot a lot of low-budget location projects, so kit hire, especially lighting. Lighting's been a really popular thing this year, which surprised me because there seems to be new lights coming out everywhere. But the majority of these jobs are sort of product-based content where you're not really worried about sound or people's performance. And I've often found if you're shooting at ads and you're on a budget, it can be genuinely a lot simpler. It's certainly cheaper anyway to just hire a location. But when it really matters, you just can't beat this. You want to be in a studio where you can control the lights and the sound and you get the perfect camera angle, because if a wall's in the way, you just move it out the way. And it's a similar story in our post-production department too. We've done quite a lot of audio mixes and mastering for cinema. Colour grading's also been extremely popular, whereas the stuff that we generally do, sort of heavy visual effects, CGI, is expensive and it's time-consuming, so that stuff's been less common this year. We've also produced, randomly, a lot of radio ads and podcasts, which I said to someone recently kind of reminded me of our workload sort of pre-lockdown. 2024 has been very much like pre-lockdown for us, where, shoot an ad, then a promo, then a music video, then a film, then an ad, then an animation, then you do a sound mix and you deliver a project for cinema. I suppose chaos really is probably the nicest way of putting it. 2020, people didn't do much work, and 2021 was a kind of catch-up year for everybody, essentially trying to do sort of 2 years of work in 1 year. 2022, it felt a bit more normal. 23 was really busy, but split into 2 halves. So we sort of had the first half of the year making films, then the strikes happened. Then we kind of jumped into commercial, so there wasn't really any sort of rhythm to it. This year we've had a lot of studio hires still, photography work in Studio 2, to small pack shots and cars in Studio 1, to large room sets like this in Studio 3. We had a dog in here, we had a horse in here in the same week, actually. I thought that was going to go horrendously wrong, but actually the results were superb and went without a hitch. Strike, our first fully funded narrative from Sandstorm Slates, is now live and out on the festival circuit. We've also wrapped our second film. This is a co-production. It's been shot across a lot of different sets and locations, which is very much the opposite of Strike, which was one sort of grand set. And we've certainly not moved away from advertising. I think that's one of the important things. Some people say, oh, you've got commercials and then you've got digital content, you've got narrative. And I've said, well, actually, to me now, everything is content, whether it's a feature film or a commercial. People are going to watch it on the same device, right? So if they're watching on the same device, they can switch between TikTok, YouTube, Netflix. It's therefore all content. I suppose the important message is that Sandstorm aren't solely making narrative. We're making content. We've always made content. That's what we do. Do I wish someone would come up with a better name to describe content? Yes. I've had a few large-scale commercial shoots here. Important thing there is people will be able to flex with us. So their flex on which lights, the Techno Dolly, our post has allowed their budgets to go an awful lot further. And the work you're seeing now is all shot and produced by Sandstorm. So you've got stunt work, sourcing directors, the DOPs, our crew, set build, props, a lot of props, lighting and post. If you know sort of Sandstorm, you know how we work. We're not that precious about that sort of thing. So if you wanted to bring your own director, your own DOP, your own art director, we just sort of flex to make it work. It's just the way we do things. My thoughts for everyone, and anyone actually who's interested in the state of the industry this year, I think virtual production's been pretty quiet. Sustainability still seems to be a bit of a focus for clients. Without a doubt, I think budgets are still tight. Brands kept people busy at the beginning of the year with their end-of-year budgets. May and June have been quite quiet across the board in the UK. I think mainly fears of AI and then the strikes in the US made that happen. But things are definitely picking up, without a doubt. We've seen a lot of businesses completely close, which has been a disaster for employment. But on the flip side, it makes the pool of production companies and post houses and studios smaller. And I kind of always describe our world as a bit of a war of attrition, really, because we've had too many suppliers and not enough work for quite a few years now, really. But we'll see it through, I don't mean just Sandstorm, I think as a community. If we work as a community and not as rivals, we'll get through it. I think my advice on the opposite side to clients, now is the time really to make high impact, low cost projects because we know they work, you can turn them around quickly, and there are, the really, really incredible deals to be had. For those who are asking for advice, and I'm asked a lot, being niche isn't really the thing that's working at the moment. If you've got your fingers in a lot of pies, that's the quickest way to success. It's a bit like Sandstorm, isn't it? You've got the studios, the kit, the post, CGI, grading, Direct Club. And a hybrid approach, really, this year anyway, works better than ever before.